1, 2, 5, 4. Get up, up and ready to go. Ready to go, now got that let's go, go. But she just couldn't stay. She had to break away. Then she really had it all. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Shake it, punk rocker, shake it. Punk rocker, shake it. Punk rocker now. She's a punk rocker, punk rocker, punk rocker, punk rocker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kids were all up and ready to go. Ready to go, now got that to the go. Get to go. But she just couldn't stay. She had to break away. This thing had it all. Oh yeah, oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, shaded. Punk rocker, shaded. Punk rocker, shaded. Punk rocker now. Punk rocker, punk rocker, punk rocker. Shaded. Punk rocker, shaded. Punk rocker, shaded. Punk rocker now. What is up? That was Sheena is a Punk Rocker Cute Boots edition. This is Cute Boots, your weekly calendar of special events happening here in Seattle. Let's get this show on the road. I'm going to switch over to this mic. Okay, check. This is the first time I started an episode like that, but I have been starting the No Good News shows. Again, this is Cute Boots. This is a peaceful protest calendar. We're going to be covering some May Day events. We're going to be covering some, it was just Earth Day. Tomorrow is Arbor Day. So some events around that happening this weekend. Right behind me, a trans power rally happening this Saturday. May Day is next Thursday, so I know not everyone can make those events, but there are events happening in Seattle and elsewhere. And then we will at the end do a little bit of a music thing. And I was going to say, like if you just want to skip to the music thing, go ahead. And then I was going to say, but hey, why are you just interested in like going out and partying, but you're not interested in fighting for shit? Like, fuck you. But no, I actually talked a few times about how I may be transitioning away from doing a news show just because I get why sometimes you just need to tune out, why you just need to tap out. And then as we move into Pride season, it's not just a day or a month here in Seattle, but a season. A reminder that Pride is both a celebration and a protest. The first Pride was a riot. And at the end of the day, and I don't know if someone was talking about this, but like the bars, the burlesque, that's what we're fighting for. We're at the end of the day, we are fighting for those social enjoyment spaces. And yes, we meet in the streets, but we party in the streets. No, but what we are fighting for is the social things, the events, the free speech of music artists. I don't know, who knows in the next however many years, some of the punk artists and rap artists and who that I go see with their overt messages could be determined to be whatever. Free speech doesn't mean what it used to in America, that's for sure.
We are listening to The Coup with The Guillotine. I'm still looking for a copy. I know I own a copy of Boots Are Made for Walking. I think that's how I'd like to start the show. But until then, Boots Riley is certainly an appropriate protest artist. But yeah, it's all important. I knew there was one last thing that I hadn't. Okay. In vlogging news, I had 2 separate meetings that involved extended breathing and like mindfulness exercises, which I'm perfectly okay with. But I always think if like someone from Project Veritas was like recording this. First of all, the second meeting was a lot of DEI, but people. I can sometimes, as I'm sitting there, like trying to, keep my feet planted on the floor and breathing in through my nose and holding it out through your mouth. I'm picturing it from like someone who's like, oh my God, those liberals on the West Coast at their nonprofit who just spend all day navel gazing, and we don't. I mean, it's not all day, but it at 2 separate meetings, I was like, okay, no, I'm fine with that, but. But yeah, no, there's a lot, and by way, I said it's a Pride preview, but it's really just a summer preview. I've kind of gotten my notes together, and I know there's a few events that are still missing, but for the most part, I think I know. Yeah, no, I know where I'm going to be this summer, which is nice. This is Craftwork with the model. No, wait, I'm lying. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, no, okay, okay, my bad. This is Neon Lights. By Craftwork, who recently played, but I couldn't find this at the time. I missed several Othello Park cleanup events earlier in the month, and I'm disappointed about that. I look forward to that. But I mean, you can always grab one of those like grabber things in a garbage bag and clean up any park you want or any sidewalk you want anytime you want. You don't need to wait for Earth Day. You don't need to wait for an organized event. You don't need to wait for other people, though you can encourage other people to join you. But yeah, the cleanup events, there are some more cleanup events happening this weekend though, which I will get to. Seattle Black Film Festival is happening tonight. I'm sorry, it's actually happening all weekend, April 24th through the 27th, so it's happening, it starts tonight. Tonight started with a BIPOC meet and greet of sort of filmmakers, film enthusiasts, but they were like maybe you'll get your next gig started today. And I was like, I don't have any film projects going on, but I would love to meet some black independent filmmakers. So I was going to go to that. It was free, and then I didn't. Reese Witherspoon interviewing Melinda French Gates in a book talk at the Paramount tonight. And then tomorrow night I'm confused. Oh, I'm not confused. It's El Corazon and Funhouse. That's the part that I'm confused about. That I was confused about. They are two separate events. Okay, that's the part that I was getting. Kids on Fire are playing at the Funhouse, but punk rock karaoke is happening at place El Corazon. Do you think I'll have the courage to sing? I probably. I'm kind of a show off. I don't not have a problem doing that. And like I said, we'll get to a more detailed music calendar at the end, but let's talk about what's happening this weekend, what's happening for May Day, and then what other protest events are coming up soon. So Tesla Takedown events are happening at all the usual places: U Village, South Lake Union, Sodo, Renton, Lynnwood, Bellevue, Tacoma, Fife. Actually, am I making that up? Sodo might not have been on the list. And then now there is a weekly event in Ballard at Bergen Park at noon. I have to admit, Ballard and like whatever. What is Magnuson? What is that? That's not U district. That's past U. I know what it's called. Sandpoint. It can be a trek for me, and it can be like 3 buses. But I actually like the way people organize over there, and so that may be worth it moving forward. The Trans Power event, Capitol Hill, 1 to 3 tomorrow. I'm sorry, Saturday, the 26th, April 26th. And my note looks a lot like it says Gay Nature Walk. I don't think that's that. Something Nature Walk. At the Dragon Pavilion in Delridge, that's at 9 to 11 tomorrow. Now I want to do a Gay Nature Walk, though, specifically like just invite gay people to be out. And they say, I guess that's what Pride in the Park is. We'll get to Pride in the Park. And then, like I said, there are a couple of restoration events this weekend at Skyway Park from 9 to 1. And then at Miller Creek Trail in SeaTac from 10 to 1. There are some cleanup events. And then there is an Arbor Day celebration happening at Mar Vista Park at 10 a.m. There's a Ladybug Festival happening at Garfield Community Center from 2 to 4. I believe this is a children's event, but they're releasing the Ladybugs, and I kind of really low-key want to go to that. I'll already be on Capitol Hill anyway. But actually, I don't think I have to be there for them to release the Ladybugs, because I can just go to the garden and there will be ladybugs because that's the point. You release them and they don't really go anywhere. They just hang out there. Gotta love them pollinators. There is a Defend Our Lands demonstration at Nisqually Wildlife Refuge. That's like right off of I-5, like on the way to Olympia. From where I am, it's like probably about 50 minutes practically to Olympia, but not quite. The event starts at 11:30. At 12 exactly on the dot, people are going to be singing America. It's a sing-in. They're going to be singing America the Beautiful, and then at 12:15 they'll be singing Country Roads, John Denver's song, and joining people at national parks across the country. Again, this is a Defend Our Lands celebration and protest. Is it too early to play Country Roads? I am going to play Country Roads, but not yet. This is Save the Children, followed by Whitey on the Moon, followed by Did You Hear What I Said, by The Revolution Will Not Be Televised by Gil Scott Heron. Moving on to May Day events. A variety of events happening at Capitol Hill, several at Cal Anderson Park, a canned food drive at Seattle Central College. It's unclear how coordinated they are. Like, are they going to be in different parts of the park? Are they going to have their own stage and their own sound system, or are they all coordinated? It doesn't seem very. We're still, I keep talking about this, we're still in the coalition building phase, and it's starting to feel like something, but yeah, at least they're all in the same place. That's kind of nice. Like when you have some things at the Seattle Center and some things in Capitol Hill, and you're like, where should I go? And they're not quite close enough that you can do both realistically, but you have to see if it, anyway. But they're close enough that it doesn't really make sense to have events at both places, I guess. Okay, from noon to 3, a Stop a Billionaire Agenda. From noon to 5, a rally and march with May Day Strong. I like marching. I talk about this all the time. Rallies are fine, but standing around and listening to speakers, I get bored quickly. I like marches. I'm a kinesthetic person. But yeah, both of those are at Cal Anderson. May Day with SEIU 6, also at Cal Anderson. And then May Day event happening at Kalama, Washington on 1st and Elm from 4 to 6 p.m. I think I do have a poster for that on my sort of digital signpost behind me. Oh, I know what happened. Yeah, it's there, but it got cut off because Anyway, Kalama, Washington is near Castle Rock, but it's almost all the way to Vancouver. There are other May Day events happening in Ellensburg, Bellingham, and then I saw something that said Saline, and someone posted it in specifically like Washington or Seattle, like protest calendar solidarity group, but then it said, what's the name of the company? It turned out I was like, wait, Jeremy Clark's in England? Yeah, no, I guess they're using the same poster, but they're doing May Day, and May Day is celebrated all around the world. In fact, the United States is probably it's probably celebrated least in the United States because we have some of the worst labor rights or organizing. Less than 10% of Americans are unionized currently. However, favoritism. Well, not favoritism. People. What's the word I'm looking for? Favorability of unions has topped out at 70%. 70% of Americans have a favorable view of unions, although only 10% of Americans are unionized. And if you look at the private sector, I think only 6% are unionized. So government employees, which is one of the reasons they're going after them so hard, make up a good percentage of unionized workers. Sorry, now it's bothering me. What's Jeremy Clarkson's farm name?
Jeremy Clarkson's farm is called Diddly Squat Farm.
Diddly Squat Farms. Okay, Jeremy Clarkson's politics, by the way, he may be promoting Earth Day or May Day, but his politics are all over the place. May 1st also happens to be an in-service day for libraries. Just by show of hands, what does the words in-service day mean anything to you? It does to me because I've worked in education for years and years and years, but it's weird that the library is putting it on their website because I had never heard that term before. But I guess I hadn't used library websites. Never mind. I don't know. Is that a commonly understood term, or I thought it was more specific? And then while we're talking about May Day and unions, there is talk of a general strike. Well, just in general, like how pissed are Americans? Is it when will there be a general strike? But specifically, May 1st, 2028. So the Taft-Hartley Act, is that right? Taft-Hartley Act bans secondary strikes. So one organization striking and then another organization joining in solidarity is technically illegal. But Sean Fain of United Auto Workers suggested, what if all the unions organized it so that their contracts ended April 30th, 2028, making May 1st a general strike. And the Associated Federation of Teachers, Association Federation of Teachers, Association Federation of Teachers, whatever, AFT, was like, yep, we're on board with that. And then whatever article I was reading pointed out general strike doesn't necessarily mean everyone in America has to stop working. To be an effective, non-violent social movement, it only takes 3.5%, which is about 11 million people. If 11 million people didn't go to work on the same day, that would have an impact. Olivia Krolstek, I'm not purposely trying to mispronounce the name, I don't know, and Riley Gaines are coming to UW May 6th. I'm certainly not promoting that event. These are some transphobic individuals. Last time Olivia K, I'm just going to say, attempted to speak at UW. It got shut down, and she posted social media basically about being assaulted, but I think it just meant people yelled at her. Though, again, I wasn't there, so actually I shouldn't make assumptions or minimize. At the same time, Nancy Mace keeps posting, speaking of homophobes, transphobes, keeps posting video of her being like, stop assaulting me, to like people who are her constituents in public, asking her, expressing their opinion, which is in fact legal. This is Feel It Still by Portugal the Man off of Woodstock. Actually, it's not. I think this is Live in the Moment, but we're gonna... in any event, there is a counter-protest. It's meeting at 5 p.m. I am not going to give the address. You can see the flyer behind me, and I guess if you really want to blow it. But if that's something you're interested in, you could DM me or get in touch. But I'm not going to dox the... the counter-protesters. I also don't know where on the UW campus the event itself is taking place, but the counter protesters are meeting at 5 and then heading over to the event at 6, or maybe the event is starting at 6. Again, I have more details, but I'm being a little bit evasive on purpose. The Trans Power event at Calendars in Park from 1 to 3 on Saturday, April 26th. Is warning there will be photography, and so to protect your identity as you feel fit. I just got lost in my head for a little bit thinking about masks, and like I still wear masks in public places like public transportation and at protests, and not so much at shows though. So that's the proof that it's like, well, you wear a mask at an outdoor protest because there are a lot of people, but you don't wear a mask at an indoor show even though there are a lot of people, and some of them are actually much closer to you than you probably ever get to someone at a protest. Like I said, I got lost in my head for a second. And then where my mind went with, that's actually somewhere where the left and the right actually have in common, but neither will admit it. We're all wearing masks for disingenuous reasons. But of course we'll call each other out on it. The left is like, oh my gosh, these ICE officers wearing masks and don't identify themselves. Yet no one wants to be identified in public anymore, which... I think officers should have to wear identifying badge numbers, name numbers, things like that. Whether anyone has to show their face in public, I think everyone should have a right to wear a mask. And I think from a ableism point perspective, or combating ableism perspective, obviously. I'm suspicious of any mask, any place where they're like, we're going to ask you to remove your mask. I'm like, except maybe a bank. I'm going to be like, nah, you know what? I'll find somewhere else to, yeah. Moving a little bit forward, we're going to get into Pride events. Along with all the will he or won't he, will they, everything's up in the air. There may be a parade for Trump's birthday on June 14th. It is also Flag Day. Almost certainly, whether there is a military parade or not, there will be a counter protest in DC. There was also a big, I end up not including it in my background. I'm calling it like my digital sign pole, my slideshow, whatever you want to call it. There is a May Day event a national event in DC. This is Dinosaur Jr.'s cover of Just Like Heaven. I was really psyched because this feels just like an obscure object. Like it's not. I don't think Dinosaur Jr. is known for their cover. Maybe they are. But when they played at the Westlake Arch, and you can see my protest video where I went to the open house and I argued with the lead designer. I didn't know he was the lead designer, but I'm really mad about them removing the Westlake stage. But yeah, just last summer, you could see Dinosaur Jr. play, Cow and the Get Down, Stay Down. Get Down, is that right? Yeah. Among others, iconic and historic artists. Who else have you seen play there, speak there, sing there, rap there? I did not see Bernie Sanders, but that picture is iconic. Nikita Oliver many, many times. Thomas Durant. So yeah, no, let's get to the pride. Lambert House is having a pink prom. That's May 3rd from 7 to 11 p.m. That's for 13 to 22-year-olds. So that's important to note. May 30th, Shoreline Pride Prom for middle and high schoolers. Lambert House's pink prom is at all pilgrims or visitors, but the flyer specifically notes not a religious event. And again, more than 50% of churches are now affirming in the United States. Like I know it still feels like a Christian theocracy is like on the rise in a bad way, and it is, and it is. Yeah, at the same time that religious tattoos are being used as an excuse to deport purported gang members to El Salvador without due process under the guise of we're using this criteria, and some of that criteria is religious motifs, tattoos. And with the full understanding, I'm sure they know that many of these individuals are Christian, identify as Christian, go to church. But yeah, we're deporting them, but now we're actually going to carve out. The White House has created a special faith office or something, and now we're going to carve out. So we are deporting people to Afghanistan, refugees, people who are refugees, but not if they're Christian. I mean, it's this is World Destruction by Time Zone. Featuring Africa Bambaataa and John Lydon on vocals, Bill Laswell on bass. Bill Laswell on bass and DMX. Like DMX is an instrument, I'm thinking. Bernie Worrell on synthesizer. Nikki Skopolitis on guitar, and I'm Dang on percussion. But the fact that it says percussion and not drums makes me wonder if it's, I don't care if it's programmed, but yeah, people did. Durian Pride is Saturday, May 31st from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. White Center Pride is June 7th. June 7th is also Finneywood Pride Rainbow Hop. That is sort of a neighborhood-wide event in Finney, Greenwood. I call it Greenwood, but Finney. Yeah, it starts with a free anti-bullying play at Taproot Theater at 10:30, and then the hop involves businesses from 87th to 67th. So, yeah, Taproot is on 85th, right off of Greenwood, and then businesses from 87th down to 67th will, I guess, select businesses. I'm sure they'll have, I don't know if they'll have things outside their business or signs in their window, but they'll indicate that they're part of the Rainbow Hop. And that's June 7th. Pride in the Park is happening June 7th at Volunteer Park. This is my favorite event. This has been called Family Pride. It's called different things. Renton Pride is also June 7th. That's at the Hyatt Regency Lake Washington. Seattle Mariners Pride Nights June 4th and June 13th. And then June 7th is also a Taking Pride in Capitol Hill community cleanup from 9 to 1. So continuing the spirit of that, if cleanup events are your thing. And they kind of are mine. I own the grabber already, and trash bags are easy to come by. Mine are cute and pink, so. And then Lucky Mart Pride Fashion Market at Massive Nightclub, who advertises that their entire staff is queer, and as well they have POC, and they're staffed by POC and disabled individuals. Like I said, it is a fashion market. It is $15 to $25, but no one will be turned away. They scholarships are, I pay what you can. I'm not sure where Massive Nightclub is. I'm going to look it up. Uh, 619 East Pine Street. That's 619. That's not Capitol Hill, though. That's downtown, isn't it? I can't picture it. Okay. Yeah, no, that's downtown. Okay. Hi, Boop. You want to jump up? Oh, jump up. Where's that boopy dog? Oh. All right. I wasn't sure. I was like, when will the mood feel right? Yeah. And now that I have my dog in my lap, I'm feeling sentimental. Oh, and shout out to a friend who just lost a dog to leukemia. I'm so worried that your ear thing is. I love you, Duke. I'm gonna stop talking. Yeah, I'm like, what is shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Knock on wood, visualize positivity. I'm not superstitious. This is Take Me Home Country Roads by John Denver. If you do happen to be going to the Nisqually thing, you might want to pay attention because these are the lyrics. I think I know this song, but turn you around, Duke, because I feel like you're okay. Take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Take me home, country road. I'm sure they'll hand out lyric sheets. If they don't, that take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Yeah, I don't know how to express this. I was gonna say something, but of course, any generality. I really do. Sorry, Duke. I really do think. Yeah, I'm like, humor is dead. I was gonna say, if you don't love that song, you don't have a soul. However, not everyone believes in souls, and that's valid. Many people love that song and don't believe in souls, and that's valid. And I bet someone, especially someone who was raised on, what is it, like a Nationwide commercial or like insurance. I don't know. Someone's using Country Roads right now in a way that I'm like, oh my God, much as I love the song and every single time. And actually, they're doing it specifically as a sing along in the commercial. Now I need to find it because I want to play it in this. Yeah. The commercial actually works. It tugs at your heartstrings. But if that is the version they grew up with, just like I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, only makes me think of ribs. But that's not what the song is about, and the original context will forever be lost on me, only because of the context in which it wasn't even the context I first heard that song, but that it was drilled into my head. So if you don't like Country Roads, it's probably because it was ruined either by a TV commercial or maybe some movie, which it was licensed to for the 10,000th time, and the sentimental hit wrong, and it just cheapened it, and that's just going to keep happening because it's a wonderful song, but they're going to keep using it, and I don't blame the Denver estate for, people love it, so yeah, get that ducats, get them ducats, but yeah. All of which was a long-winded way of saying, if you have a hard time accessing Country Roads in a sincere and direct way, the way I still can, I totally understand. This is USA for Africa with We Are the World. At a time where our government is cutting off U.S. aid, at a time where, a song that's been so commercialized, it's hard to enjoy it in a sincere, and sentimental, not like ironic or cynical way. We Are the World. Oh, I also don't think I can play this. Or maybe it's Northern Lights I can't play. I'm gonna play them both, though. I'm fucking around and finding out in real time. In fact, I'm not gonna talk for the next. We'll keep going. Where are we? All right, we're still talking about pride. I'm sure some of these people are homophobes. Okay, we're gonna just listen to this, and then we're gonna listen to Northern Lights. Tears Are Not Enough, just because currently fuck the USA and go Canada. That's this channel's official position. Just a reminder, fuck America. Until further notice. I am... If the flag wasn't used as a bludgeon against me, I actually still love our flag. I still love all exactly 50 stars. I actually love America, but I'm not going to call myself a patriot right now, and I'm also not going to let them call themselves patriots either, because I'm going to call that shit out. You don't get to use the flag as a bludgeon against Capitol Hill cops, Capitol Police, and then call yourselves patriots and the party of law and order, whatever. Could you imagine how this would be mocked today by the right? Your children, just as much as I felt at the time, the 80s was a super dark, cynical time. So fucking innocent. It's funny. The Northern Lights with Tears Are Not Enough, which I objectively think is a better song. And I kind of always have, low key. Actually, I'm lying. Again, me, when I 2 drinks in and I'm like, objectively, I'm like, that's not true. That's a completely subjective opinion. That's not even how objectively works. In fact, I love people who use objectively, and you're like, that's literally, you're just stating your opinion. And mine is probably informed by the fact that I listened to both this version and the Prince song on the record. Allegedly he was there that day, but he's not in the video, and he's not him and Michael, whatever that is. Quincy Jones. Yeah, no, okay, never mind. I specifically wanted to show. That was Tears Are Not Enough by Canada for Africa. What's it called? Northern Lights. Wait, this isn't, wait, what, oh. Oh, I see. No, okay. Me, when I'm just like, Willie, okay. Like, oh, that's in the wrong place. No, it wasn't. It was, okay. Calm down. Okay, this is, and this is off of Capital Hits Sampler. Oh, you know what I was going to do? Oh, I'm going to have to do it later. I was going to put on clown face because someone posted a blah, blah, blah thing on the internet and then like a clown gif. And I was like, okay, I think you misunderstood me, but it's interesting how many people rush to like ridicule me for their own misunderstanding. Also, I like clowns, so I and responded with my own clown gif because I like gifs and gifs and gifs in a hurry when I take you out in my sorry with a fringe on top. I was going to play something not cynical and not 80s, but okay. Fuck, we're just stuck in that saccharine. June 26th from 9 p.m. to 1:30 as Outland at Rendezvous. That's a goth industrial dark wave dance night. Seattle Trans Pride, Friday, June 27th to from 5 to 10 p.m. at Volunteer Park. That's a mask required event, and that's, again, it's in the interest of inclusivity, and I totally respect that. It's not, they're not actually required, and they will be giving masks out. I don't, if the last 2 years or 3 years is to be any indication. And they might give you a reminder or invite you to wear a mask, but they're not going to force people to wear masks. I do because I do. Also it says 5 to 10. Trans Pride always goes late. Like it always goes late. That's just has been my experience. Pride Fest, Capitol Hill Pride, Saturday, June 28th from noon to 8 p.m. Opinions I express are purely my own. I'm thinking out loud. I'm like, wait, is that the one where I will be there with my friend? No, so your coworkers are not your friends. I might actually be tabling that event, but again, if I'm how am I going to go about promoting that event for the next few months when I really try to, for the next, I don't know, few months. We're still in April. Alright, in any event. Yeah. Actually, that's the interesting thing. I haven't figured out which event, we haven't decided, actually, which event. And then the official Pride Parade, June 29th, downtown. That's like noon to 8, starting sort of like Westlake-ish to the Seattle Center, and then, a party at Seattle Center, and then an after party hosted by Capitol Hill Pride Fest. That takes us through June, but we're not done yet. Like I said, here in the Northwest, Pride isn't a day or a month; it's a season. I'm not sure what we're listening to. Yeah, this is Felix, all right. Tacoma Pride happening July 12th at Wright Park. For me, that means 3 buses, but I actually understood. I really loved, I think last year was my first time at Tacoma Pride, is that true? But I really loved it. It's at a downtown park, a waterfront park, but you could tell it had outgrown it, because it was like, I don't know. But it's just interesting that these things are fluid in the sense that, we're going to get to a Stranger article. I think it's interesting that the Stranger reached out to LA and New York, but not Tacoma. At least if they did, they didn't report it. Pacific Northwest Black Pride is happening the weekend of August 22nd to the 24th. As always, it's like TBD, and also how to get there is not. They keep it private, and I get that, and they're good at that. But they're also good at need to know basis. Like I said, that's August. This is How Do You Sleep by John Lennon. Possibly followed by How and or Oh Yoko. I keep saying I'm not going to play something sentimental, and I just keep, oh, this might be it, actually. It's not Imagine. Oh, I was like, why am I looking at my phone? All right, no, we're gonna talk about we're not gonna talk about. I might read pretty verbatim from a Stranger article. I really want to shout out Vivian McCall. This was published yesterday at 1:30. Posted yesterday at 1:30. Seattle's big pride events are underfunded this year, just like everywhere else. We checked up on corporate sponsors who haven't committed yet. Corporate sponsors are dropping off pride parades like flies this year. I would say that's the disaster sub-headline, but the actual truth is they're delaying or being cagey. Though some are dropping off like flies, and let's start with, after 30 years of boozy support for hometown pride, Brewer Anheuser-Busch left a bigger hole in St. Louis Pride parade budget than a runway of Coors Light party train. Okay, Bennett linked arms with Comcast and Diageo to pull the rug out from under San Francisco Pride. The name Diageo may not ring a bell. Basically, it's a parent company for cocktails. They own Smirnoff, Captain Morgan, Bailey's, and Guinness. Only two of those products are vegan. Guess which ones? Smirnoff. And if you watch this channel, then you know it's Guinness, which used to be not vegan because it contained lactic acid. But it still contains lactic acid. They found a new source. But Guinness is now officially vegan. As far as I know, it wasn't the lactic acid. It was Nisqually, which they don't use, but Murphy's Irish Stout still does. Either way, Captain Morgan's, last I checked, but again, I haven't checked in years. And what is it called? Barnivore? There's a website that lets you know. I think Captain Morgan. Okay, now I have to look it up. And Bailey's is obviously not vegan because it's an Irish cream, but yeah, no. As recently as St. Patrick's Day, I was promoting Guinness because I was like, oh wow, they're vegan now. I didn't even know that. Yay! I think unfortunately Barnivore was a great idea that never got updated. Oh no, okay. I don't know why Anheuser-Busch. Yeah, no, they bought the SEO on that. Wait, there's wait. Yeah, Captain Morgan rum, not vegan friendly. Captain Morgan Loco Nut, not vegan friendly. I misspelled Bailey's, but I think I did this right. Well, one of the challenges with Barnivore, which I will shout it out, it's a website that lets you, is that you have to spell things exactly. Oh, yeah, Bailey's Irish Cream, not vegan friendly, obviously, but all right, I'm going to look up Guinness and see what it says, because oh no, it does say, okay, they updated it. Okay, my warning was gonna be, I don't know if how often Barnivore is updated. And now I'm going to look up Smirnoff. I actually said that based on the assumption that most vodkas are vegan. Oh, wait, Smirnoff Espresso, Smirnoff Vodka, Smirnoff. No. Wow. Okay. Oh, no. Wait, Smirnoff number 21 is vegan friendly. Smirnoff Vodka and malt beverages. Huh. Smirnoff fluffed marshmallow. Oh my God. Twist green apple. Twisted V raspberry. Oh my God. So you have so many terrible flavors. Strawberry and vanilla. Pomegranate. So yeah, no. Okay. So actually, as it turns out, Guinness is okay. Let's go back to that list. Actually, let's play something else. I am gonna play Oh Yoko. I just love this song. Seattle Pride Fest, which throws an event on Capitol Hill and another at the end of the parade at the Seattle Center, lost $75,000, a third of its sponsorship funding. But what that tells me, they run Capitol Hill Pride Fest on, I can do math, $225,000. That's their expected budget. They have started a GoFundMe. Pride Fest Executive Director Egan Orion said that the 1-2 punch of a major funder going through bankruptcy and companies either pulling back on DI efforts or using this political environment as an excuse to cut funding to Pride events and other diversity outreach. The organization that throws the parade, Seattle Pride, expects to come up $350,000 short of its $1.5 million budget. But again, though, it sounds like Capitol Hill Pride and both of Capitol Hill Pride, which, as far as I know, I think, wait, do I not? Let's look. Yeah, no, sponsored by Delta. Still sponsored by Delta. They both feel corporate to me. I hate to be. I have a coworker who's like, that downtown one is so corporate. And when I hear that coworker actually works at a much higher level of my organization. They work specifically in. Yeah, no, they know how sponsorships and all that works. excuse me. But no, there's the disparity between Capitol Hill Pride and actual Pride budget, but understanding, I guess, is that the difference between insurance? No, I swear we'll get to it. Capitol Hill Pride did their budget. I'm like, but that's not $3.5 million, though. Is that all merch? Because you spend a lot on merch. I know that, and I bought some of that years back. I don't typically anymore. This is chumped with a threshold.
We are chumped, and we're here to make you think about death and get sad and stuff.
Off of Faux Real 2. Hey, Dad. Full disclosure, the Stranger is one of Seattle Pride's media sponsors this year. Corporate foot dragging is part of the problem, but Seattle Pride has done its fair share of dumping too. It started vetting sponsors more carefully this year, looking not only at workplace policies, but political donations, lobbying, labor, supply chain ethics, contracts with ICE, immigration and customs enforcement, connections to private prisons and military ties. For that last reason, 2025 didn't bother with Boeing this year. Boop, boop, because Boeing's a big sponsor. They'll be at Torchlight, though. And their float will struggle to get under all those power lines. Oh, I bet Boeing is why Torchlight moved, because I bet that new route has no... Oh, that original route was not great for floats anyway. This is Billy's Victory song from Billy Madison, performed by Krill, originally performed by Billy Madison. Written by Adam Sandler, Timothy Hurley, and Cheryl Hardwick, for what it's worth. No, it won't let me show this album cover. But it's not operating on a one-strike policy. Any flag raised during the vetting process prompts a conversation either with employees or the companies themselves. So they're not... which I appreciate. This is John Denver with Let It Be, obviously a Beatles cover.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hours of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. All the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Although they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me,
Now that Seattle Pride is in boardrooms with big wigs, with companies sponsor a Pride event, the details are worked out by the check-cutting department or a queer employee resource group. Technically kind of true, but sometimes that queer employee resource group has higher executives in it. Opinions expressed are purely my own, including executive officers. People who are not calling the shots about the company's image or culture. Well, again, they might be, but are trying to work out something. In the meantime, Seattle Pride told some companies that they could make a donation without putting their logo on anything. That's me trying to let it be. Is me, but again, they're gonna donate, and donating without putting your logo on anything because you're afraid of that. This political season, it goes back and forth, and I've talked about this. I've lived long enough to watch it go back and forth. Oh. Well, we're gonna stick with John Denver covers, and then we're gonna play one more original. Oh, wait, no, okay. And do things.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne plans they may put an end to you. I woke up this morning, wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire, I've seen rain, seen sunny days and I thought would never end. Seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought I'd see you.
I've seen James Taylor perform this song in an amphitheater in Santa Fe, New Mexico, with tickets that I didn't pay for. Thankfully, it was a fine show. He played the song Lola and explained that it was about Paul and Linda McCartney's pig. Is that true? Not to be confused with the Kinks' Lola. Completely different song. Anyway, it was John Denver covering James Taylor, Fire and Rain.
I've seen fire, I've seen rain, seen sunny days and I thought would never end. Seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought I'd see you again.
We are very much interrupting this. Okay, this is going to be a quick and easy, and then it never is, right? That's not how I do a show. Okay,
There's always a time on the telephone line to talk about
We compared Seattle Pride sponsors lists to lists from 2023 and 2024 and noticed a few missing names. We checked up on their plans. Amazon, which has an affinity group for LGBTQ employees, Glamazon, sponsored Seattle Pride in 2024. It said it would get back to us and didn't. This is The Stranger reporting yesterday, April 23rd, 2025, by the way. REI said it moved away from sponsoring Prides in 2019 when it was a gold level sponsor for Seattle Pride, but last year the company's LGBTQ employee resource group was a lower level supporter, and apparently, that was their answer. GoDaddy said it is still in the planning process. Google said it hasn't made a decision on the prize. So like I said, there's a lot of feet dragging more so than like hard no's.
Once upon a time in the land of Hushabye, around about the wondrous days
This is the box. Okay.
I came across a sort of box bound up with chains and locked with locks and labeled, "Kindly do not touch. It's war." Decree was issued round about, all with a flourish and a shout, and a gaily colored mascot tripping lightly on before. "Don't fiddle with this deadly box, or break the chains, or pick the locks. And please, don't ever play about with war." Well, the children understood. Children happened to be good. They were just as good around the time of yore. They didn't try to pick the locks or break into that deadly box. They never tried to play about with war. Mommies didn't either. Sisters, aunts, grannies neither, 'cause they were quiet and sweet and pretty in those wondrous days of yore. Well, very much the same as now. Not the ones to blame somehow for opening up that deadly box of war. But someone did. Someone battered in the lid and spilled the insides out across the floor. A sort of bouncy, bumpy ball made up of guns and flags and all the tears and horror and the death that goes with war. It bounced right out and went bashing all about and bumping into everything in store. And what was sad and most unfair is that it didn't really seem to care much who it bumped, or why, or what, or for. It bumped the children mainly. And I'll tell you this quite plainly. It bumps them every day and more, and leaves them dead and burned and dying, thousands of them sick and crying. 'Cause when it bumps, it's really very sore. Now there's a way to stop the ball. It isn't difficult at all. All it takes is wisdom. I'm absolutely sure that we could get it back into the box and bind the chains and lock the locks. No one seems to want to save the children anymore. Well, that's the way it all appears. 'Cause it's been bouncing round for years and years, in spite of all the wisdom whiz since those wondrous days of yore. And the time they came across the box, bound up with chains and locked with locks, and labeled, "Kindly do not touch. It's war."
That was John Denver with The Box off of Poems, Prayers, and Promises. And it won't let me show the stickers. As advertised for $3. Someone paid $3.47 for this at some point, and that's amazing. And then at some point, it was relevant enough to put a hype sticker that says, featuring the hit from the TV drama Sunshine on My Soldiers. Oh, wow. That was the Freudianness slip, because that last song was clearly about war, but also just about Sunshine on My Shoulders makes him happy, by the way. That's Take Me Home, Country Roads, and My Sweet Lady. So apparently there was a TV show called Sunshine that featured a lot. Okay, I feel like this. Okay, Brady Bunch fans, Cousin Oliver. I'm just okay. When was this issued? It's 1971. I'm not saying John Denver is cosplaying as Cousin Oliver. I'm just saying. This is the box by Roddy. Oh no, I'm lying. Holy shit! Me when I'm grabbing the wrong shit. Okay. Off of please excuse me for being antisocial. Gruel said it hasn't made a decision in sponsoring Pride. T-Mobile says it's still finalizing its plans, but wouldn't confirm it intended to sponsor Seattle Pride. Target didn't respond to a request for comment. Neither did Assurant, the video game company Budgie, healthcare company Optum, MasterCard, Charles Schwab, KeyBank, Molina Healthcare, and PACCAR, P-A-C-C-A-R. Not every company is shying away from Pride. Let's shout out the companies. Alaska Airlines is this year's presenting sponsor. Well, I guess it's Alaska versus Delta. Alaska, I actually like. Frontier and Spirit, I hate, but I fly them a lot. Alaska is my favorite airlines. Shout out to Alaska, who's sponsoring official Pride. Delta is the sponsor of and really, again, going back to the only example they gave, I'm sure maybe there were other companies that got booted, but the only example they gave was Boeing. This feels less about Pride and more about like the aeronautics industry. Like, yeah, Delta versus, again, Alaska, I guess, is the one to be. I'm gonna play this out. This is Start With Me featuring Gunna. Do rappers really drink more wine than they did? Or is it just because any alcohol that rhymes is what will fit into the song? I'm asking for a friend, and that friend is myself, who is an alleged rapper, sometimes attempted. That was my freestyle. Alleged rapper, sometimes attempted. That's the best I can do. I couldn't even think of a rhyme with that. I was like, Bimpin? No, that's the, yeah, no, whatever. Who's Oliver Francis? Like, okay, yet another white rapper that I'm like, okay. Well, I'll let you know because I have tickets now. We've been talking just generally on the channel about recession indicators. I guess recession blonde. This is not recession blonde. This is, no, I dyed, yeah, the last time I dyed my hair. So I actually have, as far as I know, I'm actually running out of cream developer, but I have a fair amount of like powder activate. Why am I blanking on, anyway. I can bleach my own hair at any time, even though I can't talk about it right now because it's getting late. But I know how. Yeah, so I can bleach my hair at any time. Opinions I express are purely my own. An executive at my organization who previously had colored hair, but they were not someone who'd worked there for a long time. So, like, I've known this person for years and they've always had colored hair. They've worked with us for, as far as I know, well, no, less than a year, but yeah, no, I know they were here in October, whenever that event was. Anyway, in fact, the first interaction I had with this person was around color. And specifically, they asked me if I was related to Mark Finley, whose name is spelled differently from mine. But, and yeah, no, opinions I express are purely my own. Seemed surprised I didn't know who they were. And I was like, okay, that's not my, okay, but whatever. But I'm sorry, looking them up, I love Mark Finley's glasses, and I love the chartreuse, the green. That is one of my favorite color. Anyway, this individual at my job, who is an executive at the highest level of my organization, previously had colored hair and doesn't anymore, and I am noticing that. I am noticing the people who no longer have they, them in their profiles or their, yeah, my thing is until someone tells me not to, but also common sense tells you don't wait until someone tells you not to, and also don't post shit like this to the internet and expect to like come out of all of this okay. Opinions I express are purely my own. Mark Finley is an amazing artist. recession blonde. This isn't, well, it is. This is, I'm not dyeing my hair anymore. It is just what it's going to be. I'm going to continue to cut it the way I can cut it because I can cut it myself. But yeah, no, I guess much like pandemic haircuts where people like, everyone bought clippers. I was like, oh, fuck. My clippers happened to break during the pandemic, and now clippers are expensive or hard to find or whatever. But I have never, no one has ever dyed my hair except myself. Is that true? I'm 50 years old, and I'm trying to remember if that's actually true. No, that's actually true. I have dyed other people's hair, but that is so sparingly. I've cut other people's hair, that is also so sparingly. Hairs. And regretfully, for a variety of reasons. Yeah, I dyed other people's hairs, but hairs. Again, I don't want to. I don't, that's, if you force me to. I've tattooed other people, but I didn't want to. Why did I brag I had a tattoo gun if I wasn't going to start tattooing other people? Me, when I don't understand my own intentions in the world. But yeah, will I be dyeing all my hair one color? But also when I'm overreacting, maybe this person's just going to Bats Day. Maybe this person's just gothing out for a minute, and all the colors will be back. Opinions I express are purely my own, but there was an executive of my organization. I will be hyper focused on your hair. Sorry, I hope you never watch this, and I hope no one at my organization never does. It's a completely different executive than the one I was talking about earlier. Who thankfully, we both knew. The prompt was weird. Who goes first was based on whose hair is longer, and I was like, yeah, no, people don't actually know how long my hair is because it's enough, but they know. She knows her hair is longer than mine, and even though we both tend to keep them up in a similar buns, but well, anyway, I've definitely rambled about my job for enough, especially since I am taking time off tomorrow to take care of Duke's ear thing and other things, but also I am going to be doing some work, but I don't recommend. In fact, this is opinions I express are purely my own, but don't work for free. And technically I won't be because I was like, what is the because there? No, I don't know. But I'm serious about taking care of my pets tomorrow. And Karma. Yeah, no, I have to take Karma. I don't even know where Karma is right now. Tomorrow will be what it is, just like every other day. Fred Meyer and QFC. These are companies that are leaning into Seattle Pride this year. Fred Meyer and QFC, the Pokemon Company, University of Washington Medicine, Brooks, Symmetra, Umpqua Bank, Biku, that's my bank, Boop Boop, Nordstrom, Boop Boop. Puget Sound Energy, Salesforce, which Mark Benioff is like a rabid Trump supporter, but again, like Jeremy Clarkson, his politics are kind of all over the map. That's fish, right? But yeah, Mark Benioff, despite how much he individually and personally donates to Trump, the company, Salesforce, I wish my company actually uses, and I would love to divest of Salesforce. But I wouldn't wish a whole new data system on myself or the people I work with. This is My Orca card by, who is she, off of Goddess Energy? Greystar, again, these are the companies that are supporting these are companies that are supporting Pride. Greystar, Overlake Hospital, Phillips, Kaiser Permanente, that's my health insurance company. Kaiser Permanente, Washington specifically. Delta Dental, also that's my dental company. I am not a accurate representation of Delta Dental. My teeth are all fucked up, but I don't actually use them. My company pays into them on my behalf, and I should probably use them while I still have a job. That's actually... In fact, I shouldn't even be doing this show right now. I should be booking appointments with Delta to fix my teeth shit before... What are we talking about? And Delta Dental actually said it remains committed, if not more than ever, to our DEI efforts internally and externally. Seattle Children, which paused surgeries for transgender people under 19 and won't explain why, is also sponsoring Pride this year. So, well, they say they're vetting organizations, but yeah, I was at a Seattle Children's protest last Sunday. It was beautiful with bubbles. And I will happily be the bubble person at all. Is Hush Hush probably followed by Bedroom Costume and or Confessions by Bright Futures. Off of Glistening Pleasures 2.0. And, you know, advocates say the hospital may be violating the state's anti-discrimination law by not providing gender-affirming care to people under 19. And specifically, why 19? That feels like what, in what, what's wild to me there is, 18 is a legal standard I'm aware of. 21 is a legal standard I'm aware of. As I was growing up, I was always, and I'm saying as I grew up as a gender non-conforming person, but also as a gender non-conforming person that never expected to be recognized. So yeah, we live in a different era. Nor did I ever desire or want any medical intervention or need any medical intervention, and that's really important, the need part. It is a medical necessity for people who are trans to have access to care. By contrast, not comparison, I'm non-binary. I don't care what my physical body looks like to you. I don't care how I present. I don't care what my teeth look like. I won't even take care of my teeth, even though I have access to pretty good dental care. The medical aspect of trans is completely lost on me, although I am a non-binary individual, and I do consider myself under the greater umbrella of trans. But that's, you know, that's the difference. It's not that I'm indifferent to the medical aspects, but in fact, I'm like hyper, following the day by day of like access to care, lack of access to care, because but for real, why 19? I don't understand, because like I said, I grew up certain milestones I anticipated at 18, certain milestones I anticipated at 21. If I'm not mistaken, was bartending on my 21st birthday and did not take an actual drink. I don't believe I drank on my 21st. No, I'm 100% certain. It was almost 30 years ago, but not 30 years ago until when I'm 5150 in 2026. When I turned 21, I believe I worked at a corporate chain bar called and I was offered they didn't officially offer shift drinks, but Oh, huh. Yeah, Smirnoff, whose parent company Diageo pulled out of San Francisco Pride, and also, as it turns out, their products were not vegan, so whatever. I don't know why I thought they were. It's sponsoring Pride Fest. We asked about that apparent contradiction, but the company wouldn't answer questions on the record. They had answers, but off the record. That's interesting. We asked Los Angeles and New York Prides if they've seen similar trends. And again, Los Angeles and New York, but not Tacoma, but not Spokane, not it is Spokane, not LA. I actually almost have to play that next. But Boise. Boise has an amazing Pride, but I have to look it up. When is Boise Pride 2025?
In Boise, Pride Month will start on Sunday, June 1st, 2025.
Yeah, no, they're lying. No, literally the AI was lying. It's actually September 6th and 7th at Ann Morrison Park if you want to head to Boise for Pride and fucking road trip. I kind of almost do. Road trip to Boise. Also, I've taken one road trip to Boise to see Fall Out Boy for the second time on their Mania tour. And I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to remember, Black Bear, Jaden Smith, who are the openers on that tour? I'm glad, I'm glad I caught them at the beginning and the end of that tour. That was an amazing tour. They're an amazing band. Unlike me, aka the RST. They will not play Young and Menace live. Now I kind of almost. That might be how I end this. Okay. This is a Terrifier theme by Paul Wiley off of the Terrifier. We're currently accepting vendor applications. But yeah, again, September 6th and 7th, I'm writing that down now. A friend of mine who was a juggalo, although I know that, okay, I talk about that, a former roommate, who introduced me to Eminem. I've told this story too many times, I can't tell it again. But no, basically, who was and this is my specific memory is Y2K, when my memory is I worked at a job which ridiculously closed at 11, but that also meant people were still going to be there and loiter, and we had to clean up around them. And then at some point and some of those people who were loitering were friends of the people who worked there. And then we were like, okay, we're closed, but this is where we're all going to spend Y2K. So So I had the smoking section which was the back room, which eventually became like the banquet room at some point. It became like the fancy room once non-smoking. But back then it was the smoking section. Wait, actually 99, I'm pretty sure it still was. It was still one more time before I quit. No, wait. No, this would have been the last time I worked here. I wouldn't have quit and come back again. Oh, so it was no longer a smoking section. You had to smoke outside in the front. This was now just the banquet room / it was closed. But I remember Y2K, my friends were allowed to mostly to hide them. Oh my gosh. I was like, well, you can correct me on this, but I allowed my friends to sit in the banquet room in the back, and we opened it up, which was special to them because most of them have remembered when this was the room it was both the smoking section and the all ages room, which tells you what the 90s were like. Wow. I worked a smoking section filled with high schoolers for most of the 90s. Yeah, I started working there in like 94 and last worked there in the year 2000. In the year 2000. Do I have to play? All right, I'm going to play. Am I going to play Young and Menace? Sunshine Riptide. I don't regret a road trip to Idaho, but I'm like, and I know people who travel back and forth regularly, but that was a one-time experience for me, I'm pretty sure. And hearing about like all the retired Seattle cops who now live over there, and all the people who like literally cross that border just to like get away from, I don't even know what your interpretation or experience is of Washington, but if that feels better, I'm just here for the pot, I guess. Oh, Idaho, for those of you, has borders Washington, which was the first and second, because Washington and Colorado were the two first states to legalize pot the same day, I guess, by referendums, and I want to say 2012 or 2013. Here in Washington, it was I-502. I voted no on that, by the way. I was warned accurately that it would decimate the medical marijuana system, which was working for me at the time. That being said, the recreational system, the recreational system works for me too. So, but I actually, it is, Anyway, it's freedom of information. I voted against I-502. I voted against recreational marijuana in Washington State. I expected it would pass anyway, though. I will say that. But I legit, your special interest group. I was concerned how it would affect. Holy shit, I'm like, am I rambling or am I... Burb. Sorry, back to the article, and again, this whole last segment is based on a Stranger article published yesterday, April 23rd. 2025 by Vivian McCall around the underfunding of Pride events in 2025.
Forgot what I was losing my mind about. I only wrote this down to make you press rewind and send a message. I was done in a minute.
Let's finish this out. NYC Pride answered with positive spin. 2/3 of its sponsors had doubled down in their support of the community. It was still talking to the last third, some of whom were delaying decision making. Overall, it expected to be out $350,000 this year and encouraged community members to donate volunteer. That's about the same as Seattle. That's just an interesting coincidence, probably. And actually, Seattle's main organization, not Seattle overall, because we got so, like I said, we got so much pride going on in the region. I will also say, having experienced pride, because one of the things that Seattle, the main Seattle, not Pride Fest, but Seattle Pride pointed out, one of their major sponsors is actually going bankrupt, and I'm trying to think, I'm like, who is that? I probably should know that. Yeah. His vicious knife trick. Oh, did I finish this? Okay. Yeah, no, that was the whole of it. I wouldn't travel to. Yeah, I'm glad I made it to Idaho and back safely. I'm glad I made it to Las Vegas 3 times and back safely. I'm glad I made it to New York safely. The last time I visited in 2023, I barely want to leave my house, let alone go to any of these events that I promote week after week, let alone leave my city or state. Like I am. The pandemic, the pandemic didn't make me a homebody, but it gave me an excuse, and as much as I'm promoting Pride events, I'm taking a wait and see attitude about like how much of these am I going to go to, or I'm going to see whether like I'm just going to say it like Proud Boys, and not people who have pride, but Proud Boys show up, because these are interesting times, and by interesting times I mean like pray you don't live in interesting times. How big is the loss really? For me in the LGBT community, and why just stop there? But yeah, no. Do not give a care for corporate sponsored prides simply because it can be kind of lame, as former Stranger writer Matt Baum wrote about, and disingenuous. And again, corporate sponsorship for 30 years, but the first whiff of, thrown under a bus. Airline floats and rainbow koozies from some insurance company don't exactly move me to tears either. Words. And again, these are the words of Vivian McCall in The Stranger. There's a good argument to look back to the old days when Pride was a protest. It's one that dyke marches make every year at cities across the country. Seattle Dyke Alliance couldn't be reached for comment. Trans Pride Seattle doesn't work with corporations or the Seattle Police Department. Boop, boop. Every fucking year. Yes. It's proud to subsist on small donations, grants, and community support, says, I'm not going to, yeah. Oh, wait, no, well. Danny Askini, Executive Director of Gender Justice League, which organizes Trans Pride. Askini says, GJL's heart goes out to Seattle Pride. As trans people, we sadly know all too well what it is like to have such fair weather friends as these corporations, she wrote in an email. Cowardly corporations can never cancel our shared people. I'm not sure what song I'm playing right now. I think this is Ashtray. Oh my god, yeah. We're playing some Screeching Weasel, but I don't know what we're playing. And again, this is editorializing by The Stranger, but I'm going to keep reading, and I'll let you know when it's my opinion, not what I'm reading, but yeah. And they are cowardly. Corporate America goes where, parenthetically, it thinks the money is. By the 2010s, most Fortune 500 companies had decided gay was good. I don't know why I put... just said gay was good. Big business adopted anti-discrimination policies that threw money and heft behind marriage equality. American CEOs had not had not had a sudden change of heart. Self-harm warning if you're experiencing thoughts of self-harm, 988-741. And if you're experiencing, yeah. Yeah, America CEOs had not had a sudden change of heart. America had a change of culture, and they noticed. It made good business sense to glide along with the culture. Now that they think they're seeing another shift, they've made, again, parenthetically, they're making another cold calculation. Even before that public stuff, companies regularly talked out of both sides of their mouth. These psychiatrists, I'm not going to play, oh, well, I am going to play Mad as Paperboy. Shout out to Arthur, though, I'm not, I'm going to end this with Love to Hate, though. Because I do love that song. And I do love to hate. Hashtag petty. Hashtag Mayday. No, not hashtag petty. Don't be petty. Like me. Yeah, even before public shift, companies regularly talk out of both sides of their mouth. The proverbial, again, corporations aren't people, and corporations don't have mouths, but yeah, no, even when we're reporting it, this is a stranger, we still personalize, humanize them, yeah, no, in ways we're not even aware of. But I'll call it out. Yeah, professing a commitment to equality while bankrolling anti-gay, Trumpy Republicans aligned with their business interests. This is Love to Hate by Screeching Weasel. Christmas song, Christmas in July, 6 months to horror season. Yeah, no, that's what I thought. As I destroyed disco, which I threatened slash promised to play a while back, but self-harm warning, I already said that. Call 988, text 741 to 741. Yeah, Pride 2022, June 2020, yeah, June 24th, 2022. Seattle Pride's biggest sponsors also gave big to homophobic politicians. Yeah, no, they've been playing both sides for years and no one's shocked about that. Or are we pretending to be? Is You Can Never Go Home by The Dare. Mindless or not, it's obviously bad that companies are changing their tune over fear of retribution and that perception in American culture is turning against queer people. Seattle Pride's turn understands where the eye rolling is coming from. The first corporate logo she saw on Pride in the early 2000s were off-putting, but she learned sponsorship kept big events accessible. Over the phone, she ticked off a baseline of cost for a parade and Pride in the Park, which, oof. This is where I was like, I didn't want to talk about it, but yeah. Tents and toilets, $145,000. Staffing talent, ASL interpreters. Wait, no, but you're combining two different things. What is the cost of the parade and what is the cost of Pride in the Park? Because if your budget is just like, it's for both, has Pride in the Park has been totally taken over by... No, let's do the edit. Tents and toilets, $145,000. Staffing talent, ASL interpreters, and ADA accessible seating, $70,000. Wait. Why do tents and toilets cost more than the talent? That doesn't sound right. I have no idea what I'm playing, but I'm gonna play it. Honestly, though, Hollywood Baby is what I would have chosen. Gang tattoos, clearly gang tattoos. Sorry. Security and radio, $50,000. Why are you spending, security, but not radio? But yeah, no, as much as the talent, city permits and insurance, $40,000. That's believable. But I thought Pride in the Park, Pride in the Park is not trans pride, therefore not guaranteeing not police presence.
Frog on the floor, where'd he come from? Nobody knows where he'll go. He's been chilling in the basement for a minute. I just think it's time he moves into the kitchen. Give him some space and let him do his thing. Make him feel safe and listen to him sing. Frog on the floor, where'd he come from? Nobody knows where he'll go. Frog on the floor, where'd he come from? Nobody knows where he'll go.
Hup, hup, hup. Beat it up. Yeah, no, city permits and insurance ban. Okay, yeah. Drag queen Betty Wetter. Actually, just called that. MC of Pride in the Park and host of the popular drag show Tush at Talk Out Loud, boop boop, is done with private corporate events. Even if it is a good way to make money in June, her career is stable of she can pick and choose what feels genuine. The way she sees it, the way the world is changing for queer people, there is no use carrying on as normal. Excuse me. I talk a lot about opinions I express to man. This is not monetized. This is my hobby. This is not. Yeah. Doritos and Fritos? Is that right? I do love this song. Yeah, no, opinions I express are purely my own. And yeah, no, I don't get paid for this shit. This is all just me being myself. This is my hobby. The community likes to joke that on July 1st, corporations drop queer people like Fruit Basket. Wetter says the reality of that joke is it hasn't sunk in for everyone. that queer people have come to believe they need companies. In Wetter's perfect gay world, unsanctioned in-your-face protests would take over. Pride in Seattle would be more like the first, but she knows people expect joy from her at Pride. She's going to give the people what they want or need. In the months since Donald Trump has been back in office, her DMs have been an outpouring of thanks after every show, telling her Tush was the one night a month they felt happy and that her performances kept them going. Shout out to the people offering snacks and water but not always sunscreen, and let's coordinate that. 'Cause I saw that at Danny DeVito's. And then, yeah, I mean, not to dox Vivian McCall, but I'm sorry, that's like a full-on master lock. That's not like casual. That's like a. We'll give you all those Doritos and Fritos. This Sweet Madden, is that right? This is definitely off of Spokanarchy, but I don't know if I'm gonna play Sweet Madness. Oh, this is me too. When I drop shit and fuck shit up. Tonight we're gonna fuck shit up. This is Social Bondage with Remo Bang Bang. And also, like, restaurant week, month, year, decades, era. Always support your local restaurant. Shout out to Bang Bang Kitchen down the block here. This is this is Social Bondage with Remo Bang Bang, followed by Moo Cow Orchestra. in social bondage with Remo Bang Bang off of Spokane Arcade. Oh, I promised to play. This is this is Spokane, fuck LA, and I will still play that. Brian McCall is a staff writer for The Stranger, covering queer culture and politics in Seattle and beyond. In her private life, she is a musician and a you apologist. If you're reading this, you either love her or hate her. Fair enough. I'm just loving the necklace because, again, that's like an actual fucking hardcore. That's a. She's not fucking around. That's a master. Oh yeah. And then in other news, the Pentagon to resume medical care for transgender troops. Boop boop. Target boycott extended indefinitely. That started with churches, black churches, and Lent, but. And this is Mind Mogul by the Moo Cow Orchestra. Oh shit, okay, no, alright. Oh. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Methylene. Me just spreading that methylene everywhere. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Are we closing out with Ska Bass? I don't know why. Yeah, well. We're gonna close out with Ska Bass. Oh. Maybe Pablo. This is Pablo. I think this is Ska Bass. Let's find out. funny. This is so glow. Ultimate EP2. Fuck Target. Fuck Walmart. Fuck them all.